So yeah, my roundup of the Everything Electric show on Sunday. It was really good. Really enjoyed it. Had a blast. Did loads of laps of the arena, and every time I went round, I found new cars that I missed the time before, probably because my gaze was somewhere else. Loads of new brands there as well from China, which was great to see as well. But yeah, and the Giga Theatre was packed all day long, standing room only at the back. So that was great to see because it means loads of people are trying to learn. And whether it be heat pumps or electric cars or anything else, or charging or whatever it is, it was great to see. Hive had a small stand which seemed to be packed all day long as well, and they were talking about heat pumps and things like that as well. Octopus put on display all the cars that they lease out, including cars that they're going to lease out. So they had things like the Fiat Grande Panda there, which was awesome. They had the new Nissan Micra there, which looked really nice in person, much nicer than pictures would do it justice. They had the new Nissan Leaf there, which looked absolutely incredible. Nothing like the old Leaf. It was like a completely different car, but it looked so cool. Beautiful interior. Couldn't get in those Octopus ones because they'd all locked them. But I had a good walk around there with Patrick and gave my opinion on all the cars there. There were two like strikingly small cars. I can't remember what one of them was called. I don't know, the Sea World or whatever it was. Anyway, it was just over one of my strides in length, which I understand is a quadricycle, not a car. So instead of letting your teenage son or daughter buy a moped, put them in one of those. Much better. There's a bit of protection in one of those at least. And also you can steal their battery because the battery removes. So yeah, if you want to ground them, take the battery out, hide it. Then they had the Dacia Spring there. Shout out to Chris Pacelli because I know he loves those. And it was in a beautiful beige as well. I mean, but seriously though, the Dacia looked really small when you compared it to like the Micra or the Fiat Grande Panda that was parked near. It was tiny. It was a tiny car. This is what's needed, and you can get these if you ever bother following my account. You can get these for about 10 grand or occasionally just under. They're pre-registered, but I mean, what an absolute bargain! Brand new car for 10 grand. But they had some amazing cars. VW had their full range on in the Octopus area, but they had the new DS knob or number 8 or whatever it's called, and on the back it had the badge that said DS Automobiles, like, hello, this is a car. Quirky inside, not entirely sure whether it's quirky in a good way. Maybe some might like it. Could be a bit of a Marmite car, but they come with like a couple of battery sizes, one of them being huge. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'd appeal. Hatchbacky as well. They had the new Cadillac Lyric there, which when I first saw that in pictures on the internet, when it was launched in America, I thought, ooh, that's a bit weird looking. Up close, lovely car, really beautiful interior. It's a bit different on the road as well, in a better way than the DS Knob. I liked it. I really liked it. Let's touch on the Mazda 6e. I think we can all agree on the MX-30 was a bit of a, how should I put this, limiting EV because of its extraordinary short range and odd rear doors. And the new 6e is based on a Chang'an. I don't know what that is. And it's really well appointed inside, really well appointed, really well crafted interior. And I sat in it and it felt very comfortable and everything felt squishy. There's a few scratchy plastics in the nether regions, which is to be expected. But just a little disappointment there with the boot because it was very shallow, and the under boot storage was pretty non-existent. I mean, they made a flap and they needn't have bothered really. And the rear leg room, my feet, like my Tesla, get wedged under the seats in front. And it's a huge car. This is a big car. This is like 5 Series BMW in length. Didn't get to see under the bonnet, but someone has said I think it might have been Tim that said it's got a huge frunk, which is brilliant. But I hope people love it, and I hope they don't need a deep boot or a under boot storage, because it is a nice car and it feels really high quality. So please do go and check that out. And what else did I see? Oh, they had loads of moving away from the Octopus stand. They had loads of Chinese brands on display, like Cherry and BYD and Geely and Chang'an, and I don't know, there could have been some others, I don't know. What I found remarkable with those was how good a quality those cars were, and how nice the materials, even in that little BYD Dolphin Surf Seagull thing, small car, about Nissan Micra Renault 5 size. It felt really, really well put together. And the materials weren't cheap, and it had loads of goodies in it as well. And you know what? I put a post out yesterday, and you can get like the bigger battery one for 17.5 grand pre-registered, yeah, or is it brand new? I can't remember. Crazy money, but also brilliant, because if you want to displace petrol cars, then price them like petrol cars. They will sell, and I've seen a few around now, and I think that's fantastic. It's a great looking car. 200 miles of range, WLTP, so probably 160, 70. Most people, if they're commuting and running around the town and dropping kids off and doing whatever, family workhorses do, it'll be absolutely fine and extremely cheap to run. But I think looking in some of these other cars, like the I don't know what I sat in, but it could have been a Cherry. Oh my God, it could have been an Audi that I was sitting in. It felt so good in quality. And I was with Alex Lowe, and he's he's a really good car reviewer on the Interface cars on YouTube. Please subscribe. And he's quite well informed because he's tested some of these cars, and they had a plug-in hybrid there, which was a bit unusual. And I don't know whether it's because Mercedes had pulled out and they had a slot to fill in. They just had those. But this car was like a Qashqai size. And I said to Alex, how much does this cost? Because it's it's really nice inside. In my head it's like 40 grand car, and he went, it's 23,000, and it's a plug-in hybrid. And I just couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. I think unless legacy manufacturers understand it, China's going to come in and take a lot of their market share, and that would be sad. I want to see good Chinese cars coming into market because competition is good. Competition raises the bar, and legacy manufacturers have a bar to try and reach now, and that is produce a well-equipped, good quality car and price it right, and people will buy it. Forget your 8 pages of options and then your 12 pages of accessories and then your packages of stuff. Forget all that nonsense. Just put everything in the car and have like 1 or 2 trim levels, maybe 3 at the most, and just say you can have an entry trim, a mid trim, or this trim, but you can't add any options to it. You can choose the colour of your car on the outside and the colour on the inside, and that's pretty much it. And this is what the Chinese are doing. It's like, here's a car, it's got everything in it. You can get it in this spec, or you can get it in this spec, and this spec has got the fancy sunroof. And that's what's needed, I think this is where the Volkswagen Group let themselves down, is the enormous amount of options you've got to go through. And I've bought Volkswagen Group cars in the past. Oh my God. I love cars, but it drove me mad, because you're trying to put in the equipment that you think the car should have, but then they put that into a package and it's costing you a lot more. And it's there to make profit, rather than provide a really compelling package. And I think this is where legacy manufacturers are going wrong. Just get rid of the complexity in your production line. Speed up the production process by getting rid of all these bespoke options. Volkswagens are pretty much bespoke cars if people have ticked options lists, because you probably would never find the same Golf with the same options selected in that colour and that engine size and that gearbox and this and that and everything else, and that package and whatever. They just need to get rid of all of that and just wipe the slate clean and just do what the Chinese are doing, and hopefully, you know, everyone's going to survive and thrive. I want to see them all, you know, I want to see Volkswagen Group survive and thrive. I want to see the same for Mercedes and BMW. I want to see Toyota not produce sketches or articles about what they were going to produce, but instead produce these cars, get them out on the roads, get them into customers' hands. You know, they're really dragging their feet. I want to see Toyota make some really good, compelling electric cars, because people want that from them. They, you know, they trust their engineering. You know, have a reputation to trade on. And that reputation is going to erode because people are going to switch to electric cars, and Toyota are going to lose out. Same goes for Honda. You know, and I want to see them bring back, like, you know, the great little Honda E that they had, but make it affordable. We compete with the Seagull or Dolphin Surf or whatever it's called. You know, do that. You know, I want to see Nissan, you know, rise from almost the ashes. You're not quite burned down yet, but do you know what? That Leaf, I think that Leaf will lift them, and I know that the Leaf and the Micro, the Leaf especially, is going to have the full grant applied to it. So I know that, like, even with the big battery Leaf, you can get that with a grant applied for like 32 and a bit grand, and you know, you might even get a discount on that as well. It's going to be a great car. You know, it's a real good competitor to the VW ID3, and you're looking at something that you can have as a 260 mile range or 380 mile range car. It's essentially a hatchback, but it looks really great. Go check that one out. Definitely, when it launches, you know, I think that'll do really well. You know, and hopefully it will lift Nissan out the ashes like the Phoenix. But the one stand, or there were two standout stands, choice of words there. One was MG, and they had their IM5 and IM6 on display. I couldn't get anywhere near them. I mean, there were crowds of people around it, queues of people waiting to sit inside one. I did manage to get close enough to see it, and oh my god, in the metal, it looked awesome. It looked really awesome. And again, do you know, when you compare like the MG IM5 next to the DS Knob, the MG is much nicer in its styling. Yeah, quirky. DS are quirky. If you like quirky, buy DS because they're quirky. But yeah, the second stand that caught my eye, but for the wrong reason, was Ford. They only had their Puma electric and the Capri on show. I like the Capri. I really like it. It's not a Capri. They should have called it a Mondeo or a Sierra or a Cortina or a Taurus or whatever they wanted to. It's not a Capri. But look past the name, because I think it's a nice car. No one was on that stand. No one went to that stand, and they didn't have the Explorer and they didn't have the Mach-E there either. It makes me a bit sad. And I think for Ford, if they had replaced their Fiesta and Focus with electric versions, if they have named the Capri the Sierra, and if they were to trade on their heritage, their XRs and their RSs from the 80s, and do some really great retro designs. You know, people like me who are really old, like in their 50s, who grew up on XRs and RSs, that's what I want. You know, I'd have one of those in a heartbeat. Fiesta XR2, yeah, why not? You know, competitor to the Renault 5 and the Alpine A290. You know, come on, Ford, come on, do it. Yeah, I want to see them bring out some awesome cars. I met some amazing people. I met Alex Lowe from Interface Cars. I met Tim Odland at his bespoke charger stand. If you want a EV charger attached to your wall that isn't some plastic box, go and have a look at the Bespoke Chargers website, because Tim Odland does some amazing things with some really nice alloy wheels. Make some beautiful chargers out of them. Just something a bit different, isn't it? Yeah. Met Patrick from the Green Strip Show, and we did a walk around of the Octopus cars that are on show, and I just gave him my opinion. Just my opinion, you may be offended, and that's fine. It's fine to be offended. But I met Stuart Humphreys, but I don't think I realised who it was, and he didn't realise who I was. So apologies, Stuart. It was a pleasure to meet you. And I wish I'd known it was you who was talking to. Otherwise, I've had a nice conversation with you. I'd have probably bored you to tears, but I've had a good conversation with you. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Go to the Everything Electric show if you can. I went to Excel in April. It was quieter and a lot smaller. So I think Farnborough is the pick of the two. Hopefully they'll do like a Farnborough up north somewhere, because it was a good show. And if you are interested in electric cars or home energy systems like solar panels and battery storage and heat pumps and air conditioning, it's the place to be, because it's all there. If you want to know, if you want to learn, they've got TED Talks on in the Giga Theatre on subjects, and they were like, 3 days of it. So yeah, check it out. It's brilliant. I enjoyed it. And it was great to see a lot of people there, a lot of enthusiasm in electric cars and renewables and everything else they do. Food was good. They had Cornish pasties. I like a Cornish pasty. So shout out to Andrew Griffith, who also likes a Cornish pasty but missed out because he wasn't here. Anyway, this was my first video, and hopefully I haven't bored you too much. I'm sure I have. I'm sure this will get like 3 views. I'm sure I'll get a load of bad feedback. That's fine. But yeah, I'll hopefully try and do a few more videos, but I'll try and learn as well. Completely unedited this as well. So, there we go. Ramblings of a madman. Thank you very much.